3, 2, 1. Welcome to Knowledge.
All right, well, welcome to another edition to You May Be Entitled. I don't know what episode it is, but you may be entitled to some compensation.
You may be entitled to some compensation.
Today we've got a new jingle.
Look at that.
Via
We've got a
King
new guest
Lexie.
and a new jingle. Yay!
Now, King Lexie is an interdisciplinary artist and therapeutic coach who I met, again, another edition from Ron Athey's workshop that we've had on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is like the Ron Athey...
The Ron Athey, like, collective
Collective.
works.
Yeah,
the
leftovers.
collectives,
Yeah. Who survived the Ron Athey experience?
Exactly.
How was it?
Well, it was great, obviously.
Yeah.
This is the edition.
And now we only match.
Yeah, and we've all arrived
Oh, of
today
course. How did that magically happen?
in sailors' outfits, which Carla's also put on after.
Yeah.
being-
I was more of an afterthought this
you were
week,
more of an
so...
afterthought, but that's okay.
You look incredible, really.
Thank you. You
These
too.
cheeks and these
We're going
stripes.
full
and-
in.
Yeah.
And today we've got, well, it depends. We're going to go in various directions.
Okay.
So, it's how we generally work is just this limited structure. There's limited structure, but we normally ask you what you feel you'd like to have some compensation for.
Yeah.
And if you, I don't know where you want to start with that.
Okay. I mean, I'd kind of like to start with giving you some compensation. I mean,
Oh.
what do you...
Yeah, no,
what
we're
do you
fine with
make of
that. We haven't
Okay,
received
so I
any.
brought 2 coins,
Okay.
each of you. This one is for you.
Oh,
And this one is for
these
you.
are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That one matches your wig that I've seen on your...
On, like
Before.
episode 5.
We
yeah.
haven't got any presents this week, and our guests have
Oh,
brought
no.
presents instead.
I wonder if they'll take my forever bust.
Get that. Tell us about these coins, though. These are
Yes, I wanted
amazing.
to- okay, so these are 2 different coins for 2 different people, but I think like starting with a gift is a really good way to start talking about what we're going to talk about today.
Sure. Yeah.
This one in particular came all the way from Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Amazing.
It came as a part of 2 coins. One was a gift to me, and the other one was a gift for me to gift to someone in particular
Oh wow.
that I would know as soon as I saw the sparkle in their eyes and the green bursting forth out of my chest. That's how I would know
Oh wow.
to get who to give it to.
That's such a great
Oh my
gift.
God.
So it's a coin of Persephone, and it has to do with being between 2 worlds.
Wow.
And
that
this-
couldn't be any more appropriate.
So
Yeah. Who is Persephone?
So she's the one that kind of went, depending on who you ask, of her own accord with Hades to the underworld.
She got stuck in there for quite a while.
And if you, depending in like the retellings of it, if you go into like the side, like the kink side of it, she went there on purpose because she wanted to actually like
Ooh,
leave
yeah.
the comforts of her mother and to actually go down and taste the depths.
I knew a drag queen called Persephone von Lips. And I was like, wow, what a strange name.
Well,
but
it's
now I know where Persephone's
It's
from.
also
Yeah.
in Anna, isn't it? Because a lot of my
Yeah, sure.
they're the same kind of myth,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Which is what I tend to reference quite a lot. So
Yeah, no,
it couldn't
no,
be
yeah.
any more appropriate.
Yeah, and she's kind of, Inanna's connected to Venus, as
Yeah.
well. So
Well, they both are, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's this kind of like cadre of, I think, across time and space of like earth goddesses that are connected to the chthonic, the underground, the earth, and they know them. We knew that we weren't separate from nature as
Wow.
much as we.
The fertile dark.
The fertile dark. So the person who made this coin is called Monera Mason. They and I made a performance at the Psychedelic Science Conference in 2023 that was performing like in the interstitial spaces
Oh wow.
in the conference. So kind of showing up as disruptors in this capitalistic and also sort of like, what is it to be an artist and a performer inside of this burgeoning like new psychedelic movement that in a lot of ways has been already co-opted by capitalism and
Yeah.
and
It's
shitty gurus.
and it's kind of slightly like terrifying. Some of the what's going on in there.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like here we are as kind of like maybe bastions of those.
I'm loving the idea of the shitty gurus.
The shitty gurus,
And what's Carl's coin?
So Carl,
I'm slightly blind. Are they fisting someone?
Sure.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting full.
That's the Minotaur.
It's like
That's the Minotaur.
Oh, it's a Minotaur.
Yeah, and so the Minotaur is also in the maze, you know, and the Minotaur is a child of a witch goddess, and a bull. And again, depending on who you ask or which retelling you get into, like he's trapped in there because he's dangerous. Because you know he has to feed.
I mean, I would say Carl was quite dangerous.
I think
if left to his own if left to his own devices, without a list, Carl is quite dangerous.
You're dangerous, yeah.
Let me show mine.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I actually made that one yesterday, Carl, and it was on my Dionysus altar. And I was realizing that I was going to bring these coins, and I was like, oh, this one's for Carl.
I think you've started something that we're probably going to push on as a compulsory element to our show. Gifts. Everyone must bring us gifts from now on.
It's a great way to start.
It's a great way to start,
I'm loving it.
We're like besties already.
I mean, for you two with the Minotaur, I wanted to put the wig on because I really like how your wig showed up in whichever episode.
Yeah, my Bert wig.
Yeah.
My newly christened Bert wig, which we need to get Bert into at some point, maybe next week.
I mean, I think it's getting there.
It just needs a little tease.
It's not far off
at the end.
So when you say shitty gurus, are you taking the same journey as where Bert is finding a lot of shitty gurus?
I mean, I think we've been in maybe kind of we've intersected across the shitty gurus timelines.
Yeah.
I think
the same ones or different ones. Different gurus.
I think it's like it's in the you know.
It's a pandemic of shitty gurus.
Or an
or an EpiPan.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going
an
there.
EpiPen.
An EpiPen.
There's a lot. I think they're the same. It's the same trope.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who it is. It's the same trope of people using esoteric knowledge or essentially for their own power, which is I don't know. Personally, I find it very difficult to kind of deal with on that level.
Yeah.
You know, it should be. If you're going to have that knowledge, then you don't need to become the guru within it. It's not supposed to be. I mean, I don't know I don't know where we were going with that.
Well, I wasn't even like imagining we'd start with gurus, but I think one of my personal missions in this life, and I've said it for maybe since like 2016, is to overturn the guru rock star paradigm.
Yeah.
And I think that has something to do with like spreading out the compensation.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's like, it ties in with what I feel is a part of this podcast that you were saying. It's like, we want to share more. There's like a way that we can share better and share more, and like create a bit of a network of support that way. So I think it is counter to how these systems are set up. And that's kind of also where the coins, I think, come in, because it's like, and you said this to me the other day of, like, I have a name for some of the work that I do that's called spiritual escorting.
Yeah.
And
yes, this is where.
Oh my God, I did some. I don't know if it was spiritual. I think it was more financial escorting.
Please tell me more.
How does the spiritual escorting go?
Explain.
How does that? Yeah. Well, how does it work?
I want to. Yeah. Maybe we could do I put a card down for spiritual escorting, and you do one with financial escorting. When we see are they similar or not?
Are they similar? Yeah.
Sure. Something like that. I mean, because I have training and background as a therapeutic coach, and because my background is also in performance art and singing and dance and music, and especially just body-based work, and because I have a background in complex trauma, meaning I have complex trauma,
well,
the rest
you can join the club in that.
Yeah, you're literally perfect company.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stretch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think like the kind of that combination often brings a certain type of person into the world, somebody who wants to help, maybe doesn't know how to quite take care of themselves as well as taking.
So you're like a spiritual escort that leads somebody into where they need to go.
Yeah, I would say. And it's themselves. And it's into like right relationship with whatever they'd like. So it's like, do you want to make work? But every time you start to make work, you know, instead you have a shitty, you know, anger attack, or you find that, you know, you can't get the compensation you need because who knows why, you know, is it a combination of systems and your own bad behavior or trauma, or so I'm really interested in like going along with people as they like find out how good they are and how much value and worth they already have.
But also getting compensated at the
and
same
getting
time.
motherfucking compensated, getting paid.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
But did you learn that the hard way by doing that for free then, essentially, for a long time?
Oh, yeah.
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 Until you then utilised bringing that together into a practice that worked.
That worked, but then also still put me in touch with and still puts me in touch with the places where it's still not clear for me, or where, you know, like how complex trauma tends to work is like blends different parts together. And so you have to take quite a bit of time and care to spray. I always say like spray no more tangles. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
American
remember that one.
And then like very carefully go through like each piece of your hair. You can't take a fucking brush and...
I mean, you can.
You can, yeah.
I mean, you rip your hair out.
That's a big difference.
That's how we've been doing it.
That's how I've been doing my that's like exactly. I think
no more tangles, no more scalp. We use that one.
no hair in my case. When
we tend to suffer from that.
I think that's
working our butts off and having nothing at the end of the day financially in front of us at all ever.
Yeah.
Like that we've earned from doing what we do.
I know.
It's really hard. Like, I don't know. I give a lot of things away for free. Do a lot of things for free. A lot of work for free. And then at the end, I'm like, why don't I have any money?
Let's just take a
Or
pause
why haven't
there,
I earned any money?
I know. Yeah, and what have you come up with as far as the why?
I still like steal money off Kevin.
Right.
But I shouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
I'm still
I do
thief.
all this work. Like, where's my
I think
share?
that it comes down to not all compensation is financial. There's some this is, you know, some of it is the, you know,
pause
you
1
do-
second. Oh, 1 second. This has done it again. Sorry. Okay, go on. Yeah.
Well, I don't think all compensation needs to be financial, but it just depends where that balance is, you know, because this is the problem with being in a capitalist society, that the way to success is apparently capital. And so there's a really fine line, I think, especially when you're vocationally an artist, not where I obviously need money to live on, but that's not my complete motivation for doing something.
Of course.
And so it's a difficult line to kind of walk through, or it can be, you know, it leads to a lot of being taken the piss out of on some level, because you kind of go in with, for me often, I mean, I'm very good at collaborating, but I go into a collaboration, or have done in the past, and therefore I realize that they don't really want to collaborate. What they want to do is take the idea and like stand in front of it, and you're like, well, that is
not it.
This is not
That's
it.
not it.
This is not where. This is not what this project was about, and nor is it. And it's kind of what I see it as. It becomes this series of, this red tape comes up, and then you see, oh, this person. This is about their ego, and it's not collaborative. It's not.
Yes.
It's so, and that.
Then you end up being like, probably. I mean, and tell me if I'm wrong, but then part of the spiritual escort is that you also steward their growth in those areas. So whether or not this is where or you
basically deal with a toddler that
Indeed.
is more likely that you're then having to backtrack on the fact that this person is a man toddler or a woman toddler, you know, and
person
or just
toddler.
a person toddler, just generally a toddler, and you become the problem. You become, so it's kind of, it's a fine line, those things. And often also, for me in the past, I've generally become I've become difficult when I've been like, well, no, I don't. It's when you're like, well, actually, no. I think also a lot of people are fine until you say no to things as well.
Yeah, that's like the end of codependency 101.
And it's suddenly like I've noticed that a lot of people don't understand that word no either, and so it's kind of anyway. I've gone off topic, or maybe on topic, but it's or maybe a bit too serious about it. But it is quite interesting. So it must be, but within the starting point of you, sort of bringing these practices together, was that just as a result of you being like, okay, I'm doing this for free, and this is not. And now I need to kind of bring this in for it to...
No, I thought about how, like whatever gifts we kind of come in with around care or, stewardship, being with other people and values that I have around collaboration and around being fucking weird together in spaces and seeing what happens and like the kind of freedom that can foster and the kind of world it can make. It's like... It feels like when I formalized my coaching practice and like actually went about like establishing the LLC and, taking bookings and spending a shit ton of money on,
How did you get your first booking, by the way?
I mean, I taught group classes, and I taught a class that was called Tell the Truth Club, and it's a movement class, but then everybody would be, there to do a practice. It was a yoga studio, and, they would sit down in the circle and I would say, welcome to Tell the Truth Club, the secret club that you didn't know you were a part of until now.
It's really, oh my God, it's really fun to be in.
Yeah.
I was in one accidentally.
Oh.
When I was at, what's that place called? The Priory. I was in there to get off
What's
everything.
that place called?
I know. I used to always go the Ivy. I was in the Ivy for 6 weeks.
What is it?
So the Priory is like a
okay.
it's like just to cleanse everything
But
out.
also it's like a 5-star rehab.
Yeah, it's also like a 5-star rehab.
Just point that out.
And then and then we all had to kind of sit there, and I'd never really been in a group thing where you all have to like just sit and then we all started telling the truth about each other's behavior at the Priory.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
I know. So, and then
you just cleaned people
it actually got really dangerous. And I'm like, oh my God. So we're all just calling each other out. But then we all started getting like this buzz that we weren't getting on other things. We were getting this buzz by outing each other's behavior at the Priory.
This is why you got the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Like the naughty boy in the...
It got really dangerous. But at the same time, everybody then started really getting a little bit of a high from it. And we started to enjoy it. And I don't think any of us were doing it vindictively, but we all just started
be like, and
but remember
thing.
You told me that secret yesterday, and you told me not to tell anyone that you're still really craving sex. And then this woman's like, no, I'm not. And it's like, yeah, but it's like a hardcore truth telling.
Yeah.
In front of each other can be quite high. It could be very stimulating.
I like where this is going. I mean,
where is it going?
Yeah.
This is going anywhere.
I guess to your question, you were saying is that how it started? Was like you were doing it for free and then needing to find a way or something. And I think because being an artist first and then being somebody with a kind of natural propensity for caretaking and for these kind of and making spaces like that, and not being able to see the difference between performance and therapy in some cases, like therapeutic arts and performance arts are really close in a lot of regards. Anyway, this is many years into my practice of thinking about it, how they come together. But I guess the conversation about what you should be entitled to compensation for is really interesting because it usually has come around for me as men showing up in spaces, asking me for what I have, and then not paying the rates of what they're saying. Yeah.
Oh, specifically men.
I mean, it's specifically men with this particular flavor. So it's I guess.
So they think they're entitled to just
me.
Yeah. Oh,
And
well,
this is the
yeah, I mean, that's making my blood go cold. You
Yeah.
know, of course. Yeah.
And so this is the kind of idea of like, oh, if it's spiritual escort service,
Then you should still be paying for it.
then you should be paying for escort
I think-
rates.
but I
Yeah.
really believe this
Like-
with the emotional labor that women have to do just off the bat with men. I was talking to someone the other day, like off a dating app, and he like literally said, please stop. I haven't finished what I was saying. And I get told this all the time with straight men. They're like, you haven't let me finish. It's very rude for you to interrupt. And I said, look, I'm a little more fluid than that. And also, I think it's actually a feature of patriarchy that I have to wait till you finished your sentence that is actually quite fucking dull and basic and you're mansplaining something to me. Why should I have to wait till the end of your sentence? It doesn't mean it's rude. It's like conversation can be much more fluid than that. But it was fascinating. This was a 57-year-old guy. And then he kind of was like, and I think because I've been told this so many times with men that that either tone policed or told, you need to wait till I finish talking. And this is not in the queer world. This is always in the straight world.
Yeah.
So there is this element of like, if you want me to sit and listen and do the emotional labor of your incredibly tedious conversation, that
Pay me, bitch.
yeah. But it's anyway. So it's like fascinating that I mean I like the way I think that there is that thing around sex work or spiritual work that it does need to be compensated. The emotional labor in it is intense, especially in the kink world as well. I've had also men that have expected me to be a free dominatrix.
Right.
And you're just like, this is a lot of work for me. And where's the, unless you, but and then there's this sting around, well, you want to be paid. Yeah. It's kind of
But
quite
isn't that
interesting.
where we go into findom?
I know. I think it's, anyway, but you've directly, you don't mind me saying you've directly escorted, so it's the same.
I've directly escorted, and I did a findom role play with someone who wanted to be the findom. It wasn't much. It was like 30, 40 quid, but like they wanted that power. It was like, so I played that game just because I was in that stage of my life where I'm like, I'm not saying no to anything, and someone wanted to,
Well, you were the findom, or you were no?
No, I was being
Giving the money.
told to give the money.
But you only gave them 30
Yeah,
quid.
I gave them 30 quid.
Wow.
That's hilarious. It's like, I'll start with
they just
£3.
wanted the power of
Okay.
like the findom situation. And then I kind of realized afterwards, after I left, I was like, oh, I think they probably get off on this a lot of like different people. But I kind of experienced the situation. I didn't like it. Personally, it wasn't my thing. It's like the opposite to my thing. I kind of left and I was like, oh, I need that 30 quid back.
Right.
But
But
that's not your.
it's not my kink.
It's not your kink.
But
is it?
if it's someone's kink, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where art is so generous too, and even thinking about therapeutic from this arts for therapeutic coaching, something from this arts first place is like, what would you like to make? Would you like to do something around that? And then built into it has got your own desire, you know, that where you're actually included in it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, well, that's
it's
generally
magic work too, you know?
communication, isn't it? Like
It
how it
is.
should be
Yeah,
in relation.
it is
that's
how it should be.
relational communication, where you're not just.
Yeah, but we never know until we get into things too, a lot of times, what it is, you know? So it's like, no matter how clear we are at the outset and say, okay, I mean, in my experience, it's like this. It's like the roles can shift. They can be fluid, you know, like a conversation. So when you start to get into it, you might find, oh shit, this is a much bigger job. And it requires more compensation, not less compensation. And I guess what's really cool for me is that the clearer this gets for me inside, the less there's shame around it, the less like that I have guilt or shame. And I don't also have this sense of like righteous indignation, like you owe me. But I feel like I want to get paid for the work I've done. I know what it's worth. And
what's it worth? What's the general?
But
do you have like levels of like, okay,
membership? It's like Scientology, my coaching.
You have to wear stripy outfits.
Yeah,
and a hat.
if you don't wear stripes,
Yeah.
like, don't even fucking
Yeah,
bother.
get you out.
Yeah.
But did you find, just going back to the fact that it was specifically men that wouldn't compensate you,
Yeah.
was that when you were starting out your therapeutic, and how did that look? They would just refuse to pay you?
No, I mean, I don't think it's as
Specific. It's not as literal as that.
yeah, like not in refusing, but I mean, I have like a couple fun examples that I thought.
Sure,
to bring.
great. Yeah.
Hit it.
Love a fun
Yeah.
example.
So I had weekly classes where I was teaching, and someone came into the class, and he approached me afterwards and said, "Whatever just happened in that class was incredible. I feel like something alive, and you remind me of my aunt." Like, I said, "Oh yeah, lovely, like beautiful. What was she like? Whatever, you know." And he goes on and he tells me, I don't know if he like immediately said like, "I'm a billionaire," but it was kind of like that. Like literally, it was like that. "I'm a billionaire, and I can help you to do
Right.
what you want to do. What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, let me tell you what I want to do, because I've got art projects and I've got this therapeutic coaching work, and if you're down, if what you experienced here is of interest to you, we can talk about it, because you've got resources and funds and whatever." Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's start this conversation. So I'm always excited. I never know what's going to happen. That's what I mean. You don't know. And it's he says, "The first thing we should do is I want to invite you to my ranch."
Ooh, that's always
Yeah.
well,
you're
that
like,
could, it depends,
can
really.
I also bring a selection
Yeah.
of people, like my bodyguard?
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
please?
So I was
Is
allowed
this
to.
UK based or?
No, the States. No.
Oh my God, is it that?
Right. So he was going
Just no one you know.
Did he
Yeah.
fly you out then?
No, I mean I lived there.
Oh, you were there at the
yeah.
time,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I lived there. And we did. I could bring people, but I couldn't bring any men. I could only
Course.
bring women.
Of course, yeah.
Of course.
And we did go to the ranch, and yeah, my wife and a friend and student who was also from this.
Oh, good. You like really.
Yeah.
I brought
Got the group
everybody
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free grub. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I guess like, the experience there is its own whole story about being at this ranch and what have you. But like, yeah, it's like another story about like the world of billionaires, I think, which is just weird and interesting. But the experience for me was like being told, "I want to help you do what you want to do," based on something that I felt authentically in your teaching, like in what
Sure.
happened. And then the only compensation that there was is like, come to my ranch, bring these things. I swear to God, there was like an alien encounter in the ranch. That's, again, I mean, it was kind of a thick.
What do you mean? There was just a random
God,
alien
I
encounter.
know.
I wish my wife was here to talk about this part, because it was actually her encounter.
Right.
Like she woke up terrified and like filled with dread, and I think like saw an ET like
No.
in the bedroom.
An ET in the bedroom?
What happened whilst you were there? So what did...
So you don't do anything there. You just like...
He just wanted you there?
Yeah, you have to pick activities. I mean, you do certain things, but the activities, there's a part of me that as I talk about it feels guilty. Just noticing and naming that.
That's
Yeah.
part of the reason. Even, often you can... Because you carry someone else's bad behaviour with you of what
Yeah.
you've put up with. Do you see what I mean? So often I leave this
Yeah.
podcast and think, I shouldn't have maybe said any of that. And there's nothing that I've said that isn't true, and I've not named any names.
Yeah.
But I'm just expressing something that I felt deeply uncomfortable about. Then makes me feel kind of shamed for those people.
Yeah, and
Do you
I
see
think
what I
it's
mean?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So it's actually quite interesting that you feel like bad for their bad behaviour often.
Yeah, and like because I feel like there's a way also, there's lots of angles to this, but one is like if you speak about if you tell the truth often, you run the risk of not being taken care of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you and it's like as somebody who needs to be taken care of, like on terms of like food and water compensation, these and living your life and
Sure.
being able to help others, whatever your ambitions are. And if you start to speak out against that, you run the risk of not getting what you need even more than you don't and you don't already have it enough. So
Did your wife tell him about the alien encounter?
I don't know if she did.
But but I'm interested in more. I'm interested in what it's bringing up, because you haven't really said anything yet about what happened apart from
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So nothing. Yeah. So I'll keep going. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm just interested.
You're being
because-
double douched from both sides here. We're like, oh my god. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just interested
We
because
both
it's
did.
like, what was the uncomfortability that was brought, if you don't mind explaining that?
Sure. Well, the uncomfortability now, I think, is just like we were saying, like where someone else's, not even bad behavior, but just maybe bad fucking behavior.
Yeah.
And very unclear things or
Right.
dynamics that are underneath the surface that just aren't fleshed up, which is what I find a lot when I'm working with people, is like there's shit that we're not aware of that comes up into the field. And if we can meet it, it doesn't matter. Like we can meet it. But in this case, tell me. Ask me.
No. I'm just thinking.
Get me on track, Bert.
Is it because is it because he got you out there saying he would help you? So then there's this uncomfortable zone of like, okay, but how do I ask for?
Yes.
We're now in your environment, because I've been in this environment before. They say they're going to help you, and then you're suddenly like, they actually just want you around because you're fun and cool to
Exactly.
be around.
Jazz. He was,
And yet then you're like, well, how do I go into this business? How do I extract what I actually need from this? Because I don't just need to sit around the pool with a cocktail.
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's
So, and
exactly
is that
it.
kind of what the setup was? Is like, just come, and then there's no
And
chat
play with
about
these
business.
horses, and play with these horses, and shoot clay pigeons, which was really fun. Actually, I found I was quite good at shooting
Sure.
clay
I mean,
pigeons.
yeah.
I didn't shoot like that.
Yeah.
But so you got. So how long were you out there for?
I don't know, a few days.
But was anything discussed when you were out there?
So we had like one dinner or something where we sat down, and I basically got kind of a lesson on capitalism. And the lesson was something like, it started with something like, who's the better artist? Is it Andy Warhol or...
how dull.
Oh yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was like Andy Warhol or Salvador Dali. And there was a right answer to that and a wrong answer to that. And the right answer was Andy Warhol, because he made money, because he created something that could be repeated, like a widget, like what capitalism runs on.
What you got? You got a lecture on scaling.
Got a lecture.
Oh, how fucking dull! Like, great.
So
thanks.
that was yeah. I mean, it was agonizing, really, because like here I am saying, sometimes I've called myself a wannabe businessman dad, and I tend to work with businessman dads, like men who are often quite aware, self-aware, loving, and then maybe just kind of like somewhere. Like we all have a little something unquestioned there in the corner. Anyway, obviously I tend to attract, and you do as well, maybe, people who have something in the corner. Maybe you do as well.
I think more like a whole, like,
I
it's not
do.
even in the corner. I think they're at centre stage.
That
They're like lined up, and I'm like, oh, they look fun.
Yeah.
It's like a shelving unit.
Yeah, it's absolute lunatics.
But that was the first time, like, that happened. There were other times, so it also
and so were
continues.
you expecting to be compensated? That was the whole idea of that.
The whole
event.
idea was
Pan
like,
out from that.
And-
No.
Yeah.
the whole idea
just
was
got-
that we would build that, like, there'd be some way, because at that time too I was working on how do I bring this, group practice, and then create some workshops and retreats. I had
Got
been
it.
building that with my partner too, and I needed some help. Like it was, I need some.
Okay, so you were expecting some kind of mentoring, and what you got was a lecture in capitalism and how to be Andy Warhol, which couldn't be any more like off topic. I mean, it's like mansplaining 101.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think I think anything when you're entitled, I've been flown to various places before, and you're just like, oh, I'm here because I'm funny.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's this like, you're not there. There's this oh, you're going to help me? No, you're not. It's just kind of like, it's a
That's
weird
right.
heartbreak in it, because you just, or they've then just tried to have sex with me. You know what I mean? Either that. At least you took enough people.
I took enough people.
So they couldn't get to you.
And I was like,
You're
I'm gay, and also, and
yeah.
some jazz
also,
hands.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but you know, because it didn't. I think the also the feeling of discomfort comes up because I want to always leave the door open for someone.
Yeah.
And not in the way that's just because what I could get from them. But
Sure,
like,
but you're on two different scales, though, aren't you? This
Yeah.
person's wanting something from you that they can't. That's inexplicable. It's like they
Yeah.
felt something when they were with you. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
And they're implying that they now have a transactional relationship with you, but there's no transaction from their end.
no,
But
except
they're
for these weird.
implying like, oh, this is a possibility without
I think
actually...
it's like dangling carrot territory
Yeah.
is what it is. It's like, I've had it so many times where someone said, oh, I can help you, but what? But and then it's just been like loads of dinners.
Exactly. That's
And
what
then
I was
you're
gonna.
sort of sat there going, I mean, it's a nice dinner, but
Right.
you know, like what I really need is
The
not
cash.
The cash.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, or I've been taken on holiday, and you're like, yeah, the money that you spent on this holiday, I could have like funded my entire practice. For
Yeah.
that kind of vibe.
That kind of vibe.
When they've said, oh, I'm interested in helping you, kind of, and you're just like, and it leaves you in this kind of position of like, it would have been better if I'd charged an escort fee for this.
That's it.
Do you know? And because I've
That's it.
basically
And you
been
know
a
what?
free escort, I've been free fun, and now I'm in this uncomfortable position of feeling slightly prostituted in it, but with nothing in it. So I do think
Have you crunched for cash before or not yet?
No, never. But I
I crunched for cash.
Crunched
I don't
For
know.
cash.
feel like
yeah.
I'm
you know,
learning.
Let's never say never.
But no, I don't know. I think it's because, again, it's about value on it. I suppose there's something...
No, but the great thing is
Also,
I don't know, I was probably in a really lucky position where I could just put value on it and people would accept it, and it was a lot more straightforward. And I'm like, okay, then can I have my money now?
think it's
And then also halfway through, I could just
Walk
go,
away.
actually,
No.
this is a bit more. I'm going to put an extra and I'll double this and double that.
And did that
because
work?
it's financial, yeah. They're like, yes.
Right.
Yes,
I know. You
immediately.
see, I think because of a lot...
But I've gone into lots of art situations.
Yeah.
I love your work. I want your work. And people are like, oh my God, your work. But I'm like, oh, why don't you buy a piece? Oh, I don't really have.
Oh, they
Yeah.
try to
And
do
then suddenly you're
Tesco's
like-
2-for-1 with you. They're like,
Like, what?
well, can I get two? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not a big,
And I'm like, but I
I'm not
thought
buy
this
one,
whole
get one
thing
free.
was about, yeah.
Yipes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and when your work is yourself, also like your
Oh, that's-
body, and in performance or in escorting, you know, there's like, I just wrote this piece about you know, what's her name from Basic Instinct?
Sharon Stone.
Yeah, Sharon Stone's legs. You know, it's like she talks about in this video a recent video, I think it's recent, where she's saying what she got paid versus what.
Oh yeah, 500. She got 500
500.
K versus he got like 7 million or something. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
But it was a
I
lot.
haven't- it's a lot. I mean,
it was,
Wow.
and she got asked to do the same
Yeah.
recently as well. Like,
and with the same amount, and
With
with
the
an unknown actor. I mean, like at the time, you could say Michael Douglas, right? It was Michael Douglas.
it was Michael Douglas, and
He
then
was-
she got asked to do the same thing, but with an
Right.
unknown actor, and they got offered millions, and she got offered.
and
500K.
the newer guy was an unknown
Recently?
actor.
recently, yeah.
So, so there's this thing, and the piece that I wrote was about, you know, there's no Basic Instinct without Sharon Stone's legs.
Sure.
So-
more
Yeah.
than her legs.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the cheeky part now of like saying like, you know, like we all came of age. I came of age in some way through Basic Instinct, like through watching
those legs.
through those legs.
Yeah.
Like, and we all came through those legs.
We all
like,
came through
hello.
those legs.
We literally did.
Like we literally did.
I mean,
Um,
that and the movie Crash, I think,
Yeah.
which is another kind of formative movie for me. Anyway, I just remember seeing that movie and thinking, right, yes, I agree.
This is it.
Yeah.
What happens in Crash? Is that the one
It's
where they're
just-
all on the motorway upside
It's
down?
just so, there's so much in it. That's another
Ah.
episode in itself. It's like the wounds. I mean, if you look at my work, the wounds and the kind of
Oh, really?
the kink angle of it, it's just like it's something. It's
I
like
think-
I think it kind of opened the doors of me being like, okay, there's quite a lot. I'm not going to be able to. It's like it's a whole thing to go into.
It's a big thing.
But I think they were formative. They're formative kind of films, though, of this opening of sexuality, or this holding of space in that, and the kind of kink in and out of that. I suppose. And I think coming back to why I've never
My
crunched.
kink was like Flash Gordon.
That's cute.
Well, that's cute.
Dun, 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 running around in
What's
that all
better
in
than
one.
Flash Gordon?
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, look at that.
Although Ming the
Yeah.
Merciless is really good.
Ming
in that.
the
I remember
Merciless,
watching
yeah.
that. It's a very good outfit. I used to watch that
Yeah.
over and over again.
And then you put your hand in the hole and you don't know if it's going to get bitten off or not. I mean, Jesus, I dreamed about that for years.
What, putting your hand in a
Yeah,
hole?
that's how I got into fisting. No, I'm joking. No. I didn't get into fisting, yeah. But like that film was like, that was a big kink film for me.
Well, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
makes sense. Makes sense now.
I think it's really like to talk about a little bit of like performance in this space. It's like I made this piece at Greenwich Prime Meridian. That's kind of I made this book. I finished it today, actually. It's an essay, but like it's so you can look at it after.
Okay.
But it's not even bound because I just finished it this morning. But I took a walk and I did like a performative walk from where time begins, which is at the top, which is the Greenwich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the way down to the River Thames, taking off layers of clothing, starting as the kind of as General Wolfe with his imperial time and robes, and then going into the time period of the flaneur, which he's like allowed to disappear and view. And the flaneuse, when the queer flaneuse at the end at the side of the River Thames is almost naked, and I'm saying something about I refuse to disappear. Like I want to be naked by the river. I want to fuck with time. I want to say that, the timelines that you've created to divvy up space are totally arbitrary and based on colonial whatever it is. And I'm going to stand here and be nearly naked in an homage to the oldest profession, to prostitution, to the way that women's bodies. And
When did you do this?
I did it last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as a part of my master's. But yeah, so I think, like in some ways, like my work, my art is talking about this. Like you can't take it out. You can't.
I don't think you can take the prostitution out of the artwork. I mean, I especially think in the art world, like what I often say is that being an artist is essentially like being a street hooker rather than an even highly paid escort. That you often have to stand around and wait to be seen, and also wait to be spoken to. You have to be like, there's somebody coming up and they're telling you who you know, and you have to be polite to them. And if you in any way say no to something, then you're perceived to be difficult as an artist, especially within. I've noticed that within being female, that you're being called difficult for asking for just like the basic thing. It's happened to me before where a gallery has sent me an image of my work and it's been out of focus, and I've said, hey, it's out of focus. And what's erupted is this huge drama where I'm being the problem. And then, it's like, but I've very politely just asked for like an image in focus. And so it's like, well, you're damned if you know what I mean? You're kind of in this position of constantly being perceived to be difficult for just the bare minimum of like what you would want your work, just the bare minimum. And I find that is quite difficult unless you get into the top 1%. Yeah. And if you're a man, then it's a lot easier to just, otherwise you'll be told to be that you're emotional for just saying no to something.
Yeah, the double standards there. I mean, it's double standards is kind of too weak a word, isn't it? Or too weak a phrase, but it's like the structural way that things are set up. Like that's why double standard is too weak. It's like, it's how it's designed to work. And so if we pretend like we need to be non-disruptive in that space, we're fucking ourselves. Like if you don't be who you are and say, excuse me, can we focus the image? You're fucked. But you're not fucked because you're telling the truth. And that is the spirit. That's the like, also like, where does the compensation come from the inside as well? Of like, guys, you know, I was laughing to my friend and saying like, just wait till I get this disorganized attachment together. You guys it's over for you, you know, like there's some way that's like, you know, like,
there's no way I'm going to even react in it anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's right. What was interesting about me actually complaining in this image, I was gaslit for a month about it. And then the curator came back and they said they were going to reshoot it for me. And the curator came and said, you know, but you've managed to upset the gallerist, you've upset the photographer. And I said, well, it seems that you're upset as well. She's like, well, yeah, I've had a 20-year relationship with this gallery. And I said, what? So me asking for an image in focus has upset everybody? I said,
what did they say?
And so they said they'd reshoot it. They were idiotic enough to send me the same. The reshoot was one picture, which makes no sense. But it wasn't a reshoot. They sent me the same JPEG with even the same number back to me and said, this is the reshoot. And I said, I think the curator then comes back and says, oh, but I don't think you're going to be happy. They've sent you the same image and it's out of focus. So a month later, after being gaslit this whole time, the curator finally so then they did reshoot it. And I just was sat back like this. And then they did a catalogue, and because my images were the only ones in focus, I'm like all over the catalogue.
That's amazing. That's some tricky shit.
So I was just like,
yeah.
But you know,
my work here is done.
It was wild, and all I'd said was, it's not in focus. Really polite, and I got this tirade. And told I was difficult.
So this is what I'm saying is like sometimes the disruption,
exactly,
you know, is so much, it exposes what's already going on.
Absolutely. But you know, to be scapegoated within that,
exactly,
which is one of my characters that I constantly do, isn't fun.
Not at all.
It's really unfun.
It's awfully unfun.
Doing it on your own. So it was like this curator should have protected me from the whole way along from it. And he hadn't even looked at the images, and he just let everyone trash me until he finally. And I was just like, do you know what? And that's just one incidence.
I know.
You know, and I'm not like.
And you're unprotected.
I am playing a tiny violin over here, but it was literally. It was just you're just like, oh God. Also, I am quite polite. It wasn't like I was like, anyway.
No, of course. But yeah, and you're unprotected. Like that's another part. You're undefended, you're unprotected. And, you know, someone who's supposed to have your back in that space as your gallerist doesn't.
Yeah.
Like from the therapeutic point of view and the kind of work that I do work with people in that way is like, I don't know, it could take a long time for things like that to unravel and to open up and to find out sometimes how we came to those structures. Like if I've chronically abandoned myself since I first learned to do that as a kid, usually we continue to create those circumstances and those situations in the world. I mean,
I do think that choosing an art career from like having any trauma issues is possibly the worst one you could choose.
Yeah.
Because it's so unstable.
Yeah.
It's also like it's often like looking outside in, and if you've got any abandonment issues, I mean, it is for me. I know it's the worst thing I could have chosen from the like dysfunction that I came from. I mean, the only humor is probably the practice that I have that is also, you know, it's probably the same for you. You know?
What happened to the ranch billionaire, by the way?
Oh yeah,
he's still around.
Still around?
I mean, I haven't talked to him for a while.
Still a client or no?
No, I mean, he never really became a client. Like we spoke many times and at dinners and kind of like that situation and on the phone and where I would say, okay, you know, so you want to make you're proposing that you create kind of a retreat things for veterans and for other billionaires who need some yoga or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's great, you know, like let's actually do it. Like when is the car coming to pick me up and what are the rates?
And what's the budget that you've got?
Exactly, what's the budget? And that's where it just goes
whistle through the
silent,
trees.
yeah. And then it's like, then the next call happens, and you're instead in the swirl of whatever world they want you to be in, which I do think it's inner child stuff. It's like there is the experience of that person who their little infant is there too. They're like, be with me, you know, don't leave me. Like, who knows? There's a lot of shit going on there in these intersections. So I like to be with people in those spaces. I think it's really radical, actually, to like accompany each other in places where we're told no one else should go. You go take that home, you go figure it out. You know, don't bring it here. It doesn't belong here. Yeah, but that
sounds like it's in this like twilight space of nothing's been decided.
Also, I mean, that's, yeah.
It's not like booking a call with you.
No.
And
I mean, I'm hearing you, Bert. Keep telling me, 'cause I'll keep learning. No,
but if he's booking a call and you're like, it's like,
yeah, there's no book.
It's a grand for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then he's going to get to the point, isn't he? And it's these uncomfortable zones of where you're like, okay, there's tension to hold between like, everything doesn't have to be financial, but like in this case, I think it does. You know,
Totally.
it's really tricky.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started selling Kevin as a, what did we sell you as? Like a producer, like a speaker, a coach, and you'd get so fearful of giving people the price, and you were like, but what if they don't? And it's like, well, if they don't, they're not the person.
Yeah.
They're not your client. So
no, it's true.
We have a
it?
lot of fear of handing over our price before we begin, because we fear that we're going to lose a potential client, because we don't think we're worth what we're asking
but yeah,
for,
I know some
and we
people
think they're going to run. And if they do run, then...
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying with that, totally. But I do know people that totally overprice themselves for what they deliver, and they're literally snake oil and scams, going back to that, you know. And really, one person in particular that I know that charges a small fortune. And, like, really...
Nothing happens.
Well, no.
But do people go back?
Yeah, but I know
do.
But there's no accountability there for...
So that person must fill the void, the product. They must actually create the product that they know that client is looking for. So even though they are a snake oil salesperson, they're actually speaking with someone who's looking to buy snake oil.
Like,
well, I think they've got
oil.
I think they've got some talent, but I think it's... I don't know. I think it's just... It's about self-value, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose it's something that
and market value and perceived market value.
Yeah.
And then again, this, like what I like bring into it that therapy has always brought into it. It's like, it's mommy daddy shit, or it's inner child stuff.
Yeah.
There's something happening. There's shame that's here. There's projection. There's, I don't want to deal with what it feels like, this uncomfortable feeling that comes up when I meet my eros, when I meet my desire. And so I have to outsource it, or I have to like find a way to be tricky with it. I mean, it's a survival strategy. Like, how many times have you gotten through situations because you also, knew how to get through it?
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I'm surviving, but yeah, at the moment, but yeah,
well,
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like it's like this, what we like build with our kind of blueprints for coming in. It's hard work to obviously like look out at the world. Like it's hard to uproot systems and dismantle them and get compensation for things that are historically labeled as, you shouldn't need to be paid for this. This is just kindness. This is just care. This is just, one thing I loved about Ron and about Ron's workshop, and something that he said was, create your own context.
Yeah.
And this thing is just like, it's kind of a mantra. It's like a prayer in my heart that has gone on since then, of like, oh yeah, like that's what we're doing by what we're doing, is continually creating our own context for what it is, especially those of us who are in interdisciplinary spaces. Perhaps, we're making lots of,
but I do
we're making our own way.
That does need
it.
you do need to have community around that.
Totally.
Creating, I mean, I've got a lot of created a lot of context. But it's kind of lonely to just do that without
Totally.
having some amusement in it, you know, or some.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's also.
And let me
you can't
double
take-
check as well, time-wise, because we're nearly
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour now. Was there a second claim to go through, or is this the main? Did you have two stories? I just wanted to double check because I didn't want to sell you short on the second one.
No, you're sweet. I think I mean, there's just this kind of like amalgamation of these kinds of claims. I think
Yeah.
that, you know, it's feels better to me than like bringing up other ones, because it's like those guys are even, you know.
But what are the other ones?
Well, no, I mean, they're just more of the same, you know, just around like.
So it's all around this kind of idea of one thing was presented and then.
Yeah, or this thing of like, I don't know what you are. I like it. I want it.
Right.
And will you also like come and hang out with my kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, will you be around? This first person that Billionaire was talking about, he always talked about it as like jazz. You know, want to be around cool kids and jazz and stuff. You know, and it's like, and then the other ones, I guess the grievance for me, or the pain, is also in not being seen. This is why I was kind of bringing this piece up, and around like in places that we are, like, you do have to show up to be seen. Like you were saying, it's like you do have to show up. You have to play the game if you want to be seen in the game.
Sure.
So like me going to Ron's workshop, meeting you, means that somehow you look at me, you write me on Instagram and say, do you want to be on my podcast? And like, I feel like that is this amazing,
But that's an intersection in between something, you know what I mean? That's
totally.
Like, it's.
I feel like that's
I'm
where I live.
Unfortunately, not a billionaire.
I think,
flying
yeah.
you in.
I think an interesting conversation
Yet.
is actually what you feel would be a great compensation for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like for me to really be able to name and say like, this is what I need to live comfortably and well month to month, and do and fund my creative practice, and you know, not have to keep reinventing, like fitting myself into other frames, like, and I'll also be your executive assistant, and maybe I'll be your babysitter, and maybe I'll be your, you know, it's like this kind of way that we learned to survive. Inside of me is like, it's almost like rage has been a massive compensation. Like I got my I get to like rage. I get to feel rage. And anyway, that's great, but that's not enough. What is enough is like that I can live my life and I can make my work. Should I come up with a number?
No, because it doesn't have to be financial. It could still be emotional. Like, yeah, you're like, do you want your time back? Mm-hmm. That's a good one. The compensation of getting my time back, for the amount of time, or was the experience worth it?
Yeah, the experience is always worth it.
actually-
The experience is always worth it, and yet, the kind of paradox or something
Well,
is
there's
like
a duality in it, isn't there?
There's a
It's
duality.
worth it because you learnt this, but then you also
It's
like,
worth
but
it 'cause
also
it's-
that I was slightly hoodwinked in, like, I don't know, this,
yeah.
you know.
And because I think like if it gives me back my ability to like be even better in my practice,
But also you kind of also knew without boundaries what you were walking into. It's you always know with those people that they're going to want you to be around because you're fun. Whereas actually, if you say, "Oh no, you have to pay me for my time."
Right. I mean,
You know?
I think like
And if you'd
it's
gone
learning.
in with that, then it would be like you were like, at least I'm here. Yeah, I'll have a cocktail because I'm on a day rate.
Yeah. Brilliant. A day rate. A
Day
day
rate.
rate every day. Yeah, there's just something like when I can feel on the edge of it's like there's a felt sense of what's coming. I don't know. There's something like what I'd like to be compensated for is I want to get paid for the work that I'm actually doing. And
Yeah, sure. That's
yeah.
completely allowed.
Right.
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
agree with it.
Yeah, here we go.
So-
All day rates. We want day rate compensation. Yeah, because if I wanted compensation for a lot of my shit over the years, it's financial.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, let me have some fun now.
Yeah, I want that for you.
I mean, Carl, I think you've had quite a lot of fun.
I think you're right.
I know. Don't listen to him playing his violin. He's had way too much
I've got like a
fun.
really good
You know,
violin, but that
what
violin is
happened?
messy.
I don't know where we got that.
Yeah.
Just because you put on some clown.
Yeah. Just because my new
cheeks
clown
doesn't mean
looks
we
come
can
on.
Go into like
My innocence.
Oh, I've had no fun.
Yeah, I haven't.
Carl, you've had way too much fun.
But it's crazy, like that.
It was fun at the
He wants
time,
more.
but now when you look back on it, it's all to do with trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Which is fun too.
Which is fun too. Yeah, which is why you got the Minotaur, apparently. Because that's traumatic as fuck to have to be kept in the basement and then only fed once a year. And then when you come out, you just like have to eat and feed.
See, I told you I need to go out more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think on that bombshell of Carl being in a maze, eating and feeding.
Once
Love
a year
it.
or
Once
once
a
every
year.
7 years, depending on who you ask. Well, I hope this kind of went somewhere that's interesting.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Thank you
Really
for coming.
interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a really great episode, wasn't it? It was very.
We went into.
Yeah, we went in.
down into
The underworld.
the fertile dark.
Mm.
And I've come back up.
Yeah.
All dressed as sailors.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all just, yeah.
We just
Let's have a
sailed.
quick look as well at
Yeah,
the
make a
Is this this that you made?
Yeah.
Can we show this on camera?
Yeah.
Is it
But
okay?
I think
It
it's, is it not probably? It'll probably be easier to show it after the fact, won't it?
Yeah, we can.
Afterwards.
Well, like as a PDF. You know how I love a PDF.
Do you
Well,
have
like-
do you have an
well, just
in
a-
focus
But you're gonna have to
PDF?
pay for that. But you're gonna have to pay for that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You can put a paper. You can put your subscription.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll have a prescription.
Yeah.
And you can do a subscription.
Can I do a prescription too?
Yeah,
Or is it like?
I'd like to be prescribed something today.
Should we prescribe each other some things and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
have a
let's
look
put
at
it on afterwards.
Great. So I think claim. You're entitled to.
We'll
Well,
give her
obviously,
a
you're
claim.
entitled to that claim.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna
100%.
I
Also
wanna
think
feel-
like less billionaires, please.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there should just be less of them. If they're not going to do anything apart from like put people up in space in silver cocks,
Yeah.
then and not pay taxes, then don't invite artists to ranch unless you're giving them the day rate and fund their projects.
Where
That's
do we
right.
get?
Yeah,
I just
Thank
heard
you.
silver
That's what I
cocks.
want.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying
Yeah.
it. Then I can hear it.
Yeah, you need to be invited on a day rate to
Yeah.
talk about it, and then your project funded.
That's right.
End of story.
End of the
Done.
story.
Don't just have me like
Done.
playing with your kids around a pool.
No,
It's a waste of my time.
like it is.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Say no to billionaires doing that. That is what we've decided.
is there like a stamp
Yeah.
at the end?
Yeah.
Or like you're
No, we
you're
just get
approved.
Approved.
Billionaires
yeah.
giving just like inviting cool people around.
Yeah.
Also, it's just when as soon as you're called a cool person, it's terrible. Anyway,
That's
you're like,
it,
oh no,
done.
that isn't me.
Yeah.
I'm not cool.
not
I'm
cool
actually
at
no.
all.
I'm not cool. I'm like
Exactly.
really.
I just got some amusement.
And to any billionaires out there thinking of trying to bring me and Burr into your fold, speak to us afterwards.
But we do have a day rate.
We do have a day rate.
And it's hefty.
Yeah.
It's hefty. Yeah.
And it's
Day
and it's
rate.
worth it. Duh.
Have a minute by minute rate, actually. Anyway, thank you
Yeah,
very
there's
much.
no
King.
billionaires were harmed in the making of this podcast. I just want to
Yeah.
like
Not
say
And we
yet.
that.
haven't named and shamed.
Never.
Not yet.
And we're all welcome.
The day is coming, though.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank